YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with some more NFL record predictions for the upcoming 2019 season. This video is for the Chicago Bears, going in-depth game by game, and we're going through all the teams as well. We did plenty of them already, so if you haven't seen them, please check them out. At this point of the video, I like to break down my thoughts on the team real quickly. I think the Bears are a very solid team. I think they should be as good as last year. We'll take a look at this schedule here, but it's really on that defense. You know, it's tough losing Fangio, but I think Khalil Mack will actually be better this year, and they'll get Eddie Jackson back. They missed him in that playoff game pretty desperately, but other than that, they were pretty healthy last year. Hopefully they stay healthy again. And then, looking back at last year, too, they got all those turnovers. It's hard to repeat that. So since you don't expect them to quite repeat that, they could definitely get a good amount, but I think for that reason, their quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, needs to step up, which is realistic because, another year starting, he should step up, but he definitely needs to. I really like that receiver unit. They add Riley Ridley, Emmanuel Hall can even make the team. That's a really good, they don't have an elite player there, but it might be the best receiver unit in football, and they kind of retooled that running back group. So looking pretty solid. That offense needs to step up a little bit. I still expect the defense at the top of the league. Right before we get started, subscriber goal is at 20K. You should subscribe to this channel because we have daily sports content specializing in the NFL. We got you covered all year round. And we're going to cover the NBA draft as well. So we got other sports here. Clicking that like button would be much appreciated as well. And then checking out our Twitter, which we answer questions and have polls on there for you guys to vote on. Link in the description for that. But to the Bears' schedule and record prediction here. It's a weird schedule, actually. I did a video right when the schedules came out, and at first glance, I thought they got a really good draw. Obviously, there's really hard teams on here. I thought they got a really good draw, but another time looking at it, it's actually pretty interesting. We'll kind of get to what I'm talking about as we go on here, but I like the Bears. Thursday night football at home. Being home right there is key. That crowd at Soldier Field's gonna be wild. The Packers definitely could step up this year. Rodgers getting healthy. Hopefully for their sake, he doesn't get hurt again. And they kind of retooled the team. I like their free agency, their draft. But new coach in there. Everyone's got to get along. Some of those reports coming out doesn't look too good, but they definitely can be back to contending. But either way, home field advantage for the Bears on Thursday night is the key there. Bears versus the Broncos week 2. Very interesting. They play the Broncos here. Vic Fangio left their defense coordinator to go head coach the Broncos. And I think the Broncos defense can actually compete at the top with the Bears this year. On paper, they should have been that good last year, but because of coaching, the Broncos couldn't quite do that. They bring Vic Fangio in there, and with Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, a very solid defensive line. And just number of players there that can make an impact. Between Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, that can be an insane amount of sacks. But it's really on their offense getting going. I think this is a very low-scoring game. I like Fangio winning this game, actually, against the Bears in Denver. Bears at Washington Monday night. This might be the toughest one to pick on this schedule. I did the Redskins video. I did pick the Redskins, but I'm kind of might be going against my pick here. More thought as more time passes here. It really depends on who the Redskins quarterback is. Well, first off, I always talk about Monday night. The home team wins 90% of the time. Last year, probably more. And FedEx Field's a tough place to play. So the Redskins get the edge there. But why I say it matters on the quarterback, it's hard to see a rookie quarterback like Dwayne Haskins, beating the Bears defense here. It's very hard to see that, but I think Keenum can do it, actually. I think Haskins should start. That's the future quarterback. You draft the quarterback in the first round, I'm all for starting him, but for this specific game, I think Keenum would probably win it. I don't know if the rookie quarterback can do it. We're gonna change my pick here. We're gonna go with the Bears. It's gonna be tough that early going against that defense, but playing in Washington Monday night is tough. Vikings Bears should be a good game. Being in Soldier Field is really the difference. I like the Bears in that one. Bears Raiders London. This was one of the good draws because this counts as an away game, but you're really not playing at Oakland, so that's a good draw. They're also the much better team anyways, so I'll take the Bears, but that Raiders offense could be a little sneaky. Bye week in week 6. That's a great bye week for the games coming up for them. So here's more of the very good draws they had in their schedule. Tough teams, but they're home against the Saints. They're home against the Chargers. They're going to be home against the Chiefs down here. but there's something that's not favoring their side at towards the end. We'll get to in a little bit. So I do like them at home against the Saints. Tough Week 7 playing in Soldier Field. We've seen the Saints struggle against good defenses like this last year. Drew Brees kind of couldn't play his best against defenses like this. And I think this defense will be that good again because of the players they have. I think Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks are elite players, both of them. And they obviously have good players elsewhere too. It's just losing their coach, getting Pagano in there, and can they repeat the turnovers? So the defense could take a slight hit, but it's still got those elite, talented players there. And I think pretty much the same matchup reasons I just explained for the Saints and Bears, I think apply to the Chargers-Bears. I think the Saints-Bears ends up being a little more higher scoring, I should say, than the Chargers-Bears. I think defense, this is going to be a very low-scoring game. The pass rush of the Chargers could be a problem. I just think the difference is the better defense wins, and the Bears are at home. I always look at, when it's real tough call, good matchup, the home team or the better defensive team's always my choice. And the Bears actually get both. That Chargers defense could be very solid this year. They could get a lot of pressure with Joey Bosa back, with Melvin Ingram, and now they add Jerry Tillery. So that Week 8, Bears-Chargers, a game I'm really looking forward to. And then you got the Bears at the Eagles, another real good game. The Bears actually lost to them the last 2 times. I think they get the revenge on this one, actually, even though it's away. I think the Bears' pressure is too much for the Eagles' offensive line, which I don't think will be the same as the last couple of years, and too much for Carson Wentz there. So I like the Bears for matchup purposes. The Lions at the Bears, I do like the Bears at home. So they're 8-1 at this point. They're 8-1, and looking at the schedule, I think it kind of favors them. It was a really good draw here, being home in the right spots, being home against the Saints, being home against the Chargers, a matchup nightmare for the Eagles, so it doesn't matter. That one's away. They got the right draw here, being home against, the division rivals early. It's good to get a good start, but now it starts to get real tough. At this point in the schedule, I'm like, they got a real good draw. This is ridiculous for them, but it starts to get tough. And why does it start to get real tough? Because not only the teams they play, but they're away on a lot of these key ones, and you would love for them to be home for Bears fans' sake. You want to be home at this part of the season because Soldier, it's always crazy, but it's going to be freezing cold. This is where they get their home field advantage, but this time they get to go to California, which that was a defensive battle last year. I think the Rams get them at home, and they'll beat the Giants. This is a toss-up. This is, like I said, the Bears and Redskins was a tough one to pick. This one's actually another tough one, another Thanksgiving game here, and the Lions had them last year, and then some, errors, I guess you could say, at the end there really cost them. I think the Lions are a better team this year. The Bears will be about the same unless Trubisky improves by, he's going to improve, but by a good amount. So I'll take the Lions in this one, but again, that is a toss-up. Cowboys at Bears, Thursday night football, the keys being at home there, and that's going to be a good battle, but I like the Bears. And then this is where it's real tough, too, because, these key games like the Rams and the Lions already, they're away against the Packers, they're away against the Vikings. These are some tough ones here. I like the Packers at home, depending on Rodgers' health at this point. He played all the way through last season, so. But I like I don't know if it's going to be a sweep again. It could be. And then the Chiefs and the Bears, another tough one. This one's at least in Chicago, and it's going to be tough, but the Chiefs have no problem with playing on that type of field and that type of weather. I think this offense is just too much, even if it doesn't include Tyreek Hill. This is a different type of offense the Bears didn't even see last year, actually. So I do like the Bears. And then even though the Bears played this game very well last year, I think the Vikings are I don't want to say much different, I think much better to where we think they'll play. So I do like the Vikings splitting with them. I don't know if I see a 2-0 in that one again. So still 10-6, but after starting 8-1, it's rough because you rather have the home games down, more key home games down here, like the Rams, Lions, Packers, Vikings, and because of the big-time home field advantage down there in the cold. But it's also a really good start. To start 8-1, you pretty much are just securing yourself, and it makes teams hard to catch up. So I still think the Bears will be very solid here, 10-6. And like I said, some of these toss-ups, like the Bears and the Broncos is a toss-up, so the Bears could win that. That already adds one, but I did have them win the Redskins. That's a toss-up, so kind of cancel those out. I did have them beating the Saints and the Chargers, but you expect them kind of to at home. Did have them beating the Eagles too. But then these games down here, really the Lions game, you definitely can switch that to a win. I definitely think they can beat the Packers. They can beat them twice, I think. The Packers, I'm kind of back and forth on. One second, they had a huge free agency. They had a bunch of draft picks. But then, there's a lot of nonsense going on, and can they stay healthy? So the Bears can definitely win 2 games there. So it's kind of back and forth. They have a pretty big range, I'd say. The Bears could win. It's hard to see them win only like 8 games, but I guess that's the bottom line. 8 to, could even say 12. Even is 13 too much? I'd say 8 to 12 range. So pretty good range. A very interesting schedule. I think favors them big time early and then kind of hurts them later. But if they get that good start, they're looking good, looking to secure their spot there. So, yeah, another team to look out for. See if they can do similar things on defense. I think so. I think we just need to see improvement at the quarterback position to take that next step. So we'll see. That's going to do it for the Bears. Again, we're going through every single team. There's some playlists on the left side of your screen you guys can check out. Click that subscribe button. Much appreciated. We got daily sports videos here at the Goat House. We got you covered. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks, everyone, for their support. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.